Our next guest is a playwright, actress, TV writer, producer, co-director, and mom whose work you'll know because she co-wrote a little movie you may have heard of, Encanto. Here to talk about the film, now on DVD and Blu-ray, and as of today, 3 Oscar nominations. Out now on DVD and Blu-ray. Welcome, Charise Castro Smith. Welcome, Charise.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
I've got to tell you, we have been so excited to chat with you. I mean, obviously, as is everyone under the sun, in love with this movie. I feel this weird connection to you. I feel like we should be doing this over a cocktail because
Amazing. I
there
would
is
love
so
that.
much. Yes, there is so much we have in common. I am born in Miami to a Cuban
Hey,
American family.
no way, cool.
Yes, we're essentially the same age. We both have the Smith last name add-on. How did yours come to be? Were you born a Smith?
I'm Castro on my mom's side and Smith on my dad's side.
Oh, I
So
love that. I'm
hence,
I'm married into the Smith part.
got it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And not to mention, this movie was so relatable, I think, to so many people. The concept of breaking the cycle of generational trauma, uh,
Absolutely.
but through my mother's therapy and my own therapy, I feel like Cubans offer a certain special kind of generational trauma, abuelas especially. How much of this was based on your life, your Cuban American experience? Talk to me about all of that.
Of course. So I will say that, first of all, this movie was made by an incredibly large, passionate, talented team. There was 800 people on our crew who worked on this movie for 3 years,
Wow.
not to mention our wonderfully talented cast, and my amazing two directors that I worked with, Jared Bush and Byron Howard. So a lot of people put their passion and talent and time into this movie. I will say personally, yes, this movie is very personal to me. You come at, like, when I was a kid in Miami, my grandparents, I was the only girl amongst my cousins. I was la única niña, right? And basically, I had the option of curing cancer or becoming president for my job options starting at about the age of 5. They were very proud of me and really expected great things from me. So I felt that dual encouragement slash pressure of expectation myself from a really early age. And so as we started to develop this film and think about these characters and sort of what some of the family dynamics were at play, and not just drawing from my own experience, but talking to a lot of our Colombian friends and consultants and lots of other Latina creators who helped us kind of with their perspectives on this film, this idea of pressure born out of love, but also this kind of cultural need to sort of make all the sacrifices worth it was a common theme that resonated with a lot of people, and something that obviously made its way into the film.
For the record, I have 2 middle names, Melissa Danielle, and that's because the initials are MD, because
Wow.
my mother
Oh no.
believed in manifest destiny, I guess.
Oh,
So
yes.
I hear ya.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something that Ashley and I have talked a lot about is that there's lots of Disney movies out there from our youth that have similar themes, like death of a parent, princesses, someone saving them. And this movie really breaks the mold. How did this come about? And, there seems to be like a Disney template. And did they want you to follow that template? Or was this because it was such a different kind of film?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'll answer your question about how it came about first, so this movie was in development for a total of 5 years. Jared and Byron, the two directors, were kind of thinking about wanting to make a movie that was about a large intergenerational family for a long time. And I joined the movie about 2 years into the development project and was with it for 3 years. And yes, we have this incredible legacy of Disney films I love that I grew up watching. I mean, The Little Mermaid, I think I wore out my VHS tape of that when I was a kid. So we do sort of fall into this long tradition of beautifully animated films that have heart and humor in them. But yes, this movie is also really different from a lot of the movies in the canon. And, I credit a lot of people for that. I credit our producers. I credit the Jennifer Lee, who is the current like COO of the animation studio who did Frozen. And I think, she started to break the mold with that movie, which was centered on sisterly love. And I think, as these films continue to evolve, I think I see even in the slate of movies that are coming up after us, the willingness to kind of tackle more complicated issues and sort of use that magic to tell stories about real things that people are going through. So I credit the studio for that.
So on a little bit more of a personal level for you.
Sure.
You're a mother. You're obviously very conscious of breaking the cycle of generational trauma, which I feel like is very much parents of younger kids of our time. This is something we're very cognizant of. It's something we, Keri and I, are actively working on ourselves, and we know Absolutely. How truly difficult it is sometimes.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that have worked for you in your process of doing this in your personal life?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Did you know you were coming to therapy today?
Well, I will say, so my daughter's she's turning 4. She'll be 4 in March. And so she turned 2 basically on the day that we all locked down for the pandemic. So, we were just all together here. I was working on this movie about 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for most of that time. And we were all together here in our house. And so there was really nowhere to escape from the intimacy of family. But I will say, something that's been really helpful to me is just to remember to take care of myself. I really kind of thought for a long time that it was selfish to follow that sort of thinking of like putting on your own mask before helping others. But the last 2 years taught me that like, if I have nothing to give myself, I have zero to give other people. Yep. And so if I am constantly refilling my well of passion for myself, if I am making sure that I am going rollerblading and swimming, those are my 2 little hobbies, that I am reading books that I like, that I am taking care of myself, I know that I have more patience and more to give to everyone in my family, my daughter included. So.
Absolutely.
What was the process like when the musical book was being written? Like, how much did you and Lin-Manuel work together, and how interactive was that?
Of course, it was a really close collaboration from the very beginning. So Lin-Manuel was on this movie even before I joined. And once I joined and we started writing scripts and really got the movie into development, it was really a very intimate process. Like Jared and I, who wrote the script together, would sort of figure out what we thought was a moment where a song probably belonged, what the character was thinking at that moment, what we needed to convey, what sort of story beats had to happen. And we would hand that off to Lin, and he would write an incredible song that would just blow us all away. And then it was, in some cases with some of the songs, the process of tweaking. Mirabel's songs was one of the last ones that was actually completed, because it was such a specific yearning that she had. And she has such a different sort of heroine song than the typical Disney princess song. She's hurting. She is really feeling the effects of not being included. It's a really angsty song. And so it took a long time to really crack that one, but I'm really pleased with how it ended up.
Side note, I was doing the Peloton Encanto ride yesterday, and my daughter was in the basement, and she was confused because she knows that she's not supposed to go near I have a 3-year-old. She's not supposed to go near my bike when I'm on it. But then she's like, but that's my music coming from the bike. I was like, I know. So then I have a little exercise mat, and she started like shaking her shoulders. She has clip-on hair. She clipped on her hair, started shaking her shoulders, and was dancing while I was doing the bike.
That's amazing.
Keri, do you want to take this next question? Because I feel like
Sure.
it was something you wrote that's very personal to you.
So the character of Louisa has struck such a chord in so many people. I mean, there's been so many people on TikTok and Instagram talking about it too. And I related to her in so many ways as feeling like I just needed to be strong and handle everything. I'm an only child and I was a caretaker of a lot of people in my family.
Sure.
And now having a family of my own, although it wasn't the quote unquote physical strength, it felt like mothers sometimes shoulder a very heavy load,
Absolutely.
If the character had me bursting into tears, and I've heard that from not only me, but
I literally rewatching it, I cried during her song the other day.
Why do you think that so many people feel represented by her? Like when you were writing that character, did you know that this was going to hit so many buttons specifically?
It's funny. For all of the characters, we really started by thinking sort of what the kind of really most like relatable family archetypes, right? Like a sort of the person who takes on everything, the golden child who can do no wrong, so we really were grounding all of these characters in family archetypes that we know, people we can point to probably in our own families or friend groups. And Louisa, I think, so many of us feel like we are giving so much and doing so much all the time and not being seen for that. Lin-Manuel felt like he was writing the song about his sister because he felt like his sister was his person in the family who was like this. But I love that people gravitate towards that character. Hers is one of my favorite songs in the movie. I've definitely felt like Louisa a lot of the time in my personal life. Mm-hmm. I love that people are really sort of taking that character on and embracing her.
By the way, there is an article when I was doing research for all these questions and stuff. There's an article online that breaks down each character and what their role is in this family. And it is it's something you realize watching it, but then to read it, it was like highly recommended. Even though you wrote the movie, all of this. It was just a fun, interesting read.
In case you want to just know how good you had it. Yeah. And not how you had it, but how you did it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
So we ask all of our moms this question. What is the number one thing that you think every mom should outsource if she has the means to do so, or they have the means to do so?
Oh boy. I love my housekeeper. Her name is Digna. We love her. She's basically part of our family. I don't know how our lives would quite function without her. So yes,
that would be mine too.
Yes.
So please, not that this film needs any more plugging. Everybody knows about it, but please plug yourself, plug the film, just do all the things.
Absolutely. So, the film is coming out on Blu-ray now. So that is very exciting. There's a sing-along, I think, happening very soon. That Lin-Manuel is leading that I think is going to be great. We've got these cool awards shows coming up. And I am developing 2 different TV shows right now and 2 different features that I'm really excited about, and we'll hopefully be able to talk about them a little bit more soon.
We would love that. Please come on back to Momtourage because we would love to. And thank you for making a Disney movie that I feel like I grew with Disney, or Disney grew with me through Encanto. So
thank you
for that.
Thank you guys. This has been a pleasure. It's wonderful to talk to you.